Hi, my name is Erica Alcala. I'm a funeral arranger at Coastal Funeral Center. We've invited a few of our community partners to talk to us about trusts. The series is meant to help answer some of our most frequently asked questions about financial planning, trusts, and wills. Today, we will be talking about tax benefits of a trust. Our special guest today is Eric Harris from Pacific Coast Legacy Partners with offices in Torrance and Manhattan Beach. Thank you, Eric, for joining us today.
Thank you, Erica. I appreciate the invitation. As far as tax benefits of trust, there aren't tax benefits for living trusts for most people these days. That's because the estate tax exclusion amount, meaning the amount that you pass away without owing an estate tax, is very high these days. So estate tax really doesn't affect a lot of people in today's world. But there's actually some other tax benefits that you can get from having a trust. When I say a trust, a living trust. Some of those things include capital gain tax issues. So, for example, some people say, why do I need to do anything complicated? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my adult child's name on the deed to my house. When I do that and I pass away, that child will just inherit the house. So why do I need to do anything fancy? Well, that's fine, they can do that. The problem with that is that when the parent passes away, only part of the house receives a tax basis as adjustment, and as a result, that child will likely maybe need to pay some extra capital gain tax later on when they sell the house. That may or may not apply. That may not be a big issue, but it could be an issue. You know, it's pretty common that when parents pass away that the house does get sold because they can't afford maybe the property taxes, or there's multiple children and they need to divide up the property. So, you know, a big issue is, okay, you want to make sure that there's no capital gain tax that has to be paid if the house does get sold. So that's one big tax benefit of having a living trust. Now, that benefit also is in place if you have a will, or even if you don't have a living trust or a will, but in the context of planning to make sure it goes smoothly and also avoiding probate, which is a court-supervised administration of an estate settlement, as well as incapacity planning, this is a strategy that a lot of people like to use. A trust is a really great vehicle to make sure that incapacity planning is done, that there's probate avoidance, and the tax issues are handled if there are tax issues. Like I was saying, there really isn't that many tax issues for most people who are just focused on those first two things, incapacity planning and probate avoidance.
And what about property taxes?
That's really interesting you brought that up. You know, property taxes, that's a big issue for most people because in California we're under Prop 13, and they want to keep their property tax low. And so one benefit of having a trust is you can grant an option for one or more of your kids to purchase the property from the trust, and that will make the estate settlement go a lot more smoothly and reduce conflicts. And it would also eliminate a property tax reassessment that would otherwise occur in a sibling-to-sibling transfer. So by purchasing the property through a living trust in an estate settlement, we can help keep property taxes low.
And what about trusts for children?
Yeah, so trusts for children that are set up after a parent passes away can be set up so that assets can be paid into the trust, and they can be set up so that assets can be distributed out with a minimal or at least a tax neutral effect. There are numerous ways that a trust can be designed to be tax efficient. And if you have young children or young persons in general, maybe adults who are unable to effectively manage their finances, a trust can be used effectively, including the taxation part of the trust, to make sure that not too much money gets paid to the state and that it also protects the child as well.
What about the trusts that last a lifetime of your children and beyond?
Yeah, so some people will leave assets to their children in trust for the child's lifetime, and even it will remain in trust after the child's death. and go to the next generation. We can set up trusts like that are tax efficient, and those are called generation skipping trusts. So there's all kinds of ways we can plan and do great things and create asset protection for a person's children and the next generation, and also transfer wealth to the next generation by using trusts. People can also use trust for charitable planning if they wish to benefit a charity at death, but they also want to leave something to their family as well. So it's a split interest trust. There's a portion that goes to the family and a portion that goes to the charity, and they get a tax deduction in the process. It's really neat. There's all kinds of creative ways to do efficient tax planning with the trust for people who are interested in that. But like I was saying before, most people don't need to worry about tax planning with the trust. The main thing they need to worry about is incapacity planning and probate avoidance. And probate avoidance is important because in California, the probate process is lengthy, there's a lack of privacy, and it's generally expensive. So if you can contract or privatize your way around that process, that will save your family or loved ones a lot of time and expense and just make the process a lot easier.
Well, thank you. That was very informative. If anybody would like to reach out to you, how would they do that?
You can find us at PacificCoastLegacy.com. We have offices in Torrance and Manhattan Beach, and we're board-certified specialists in estate planning, trust, and probate law.
Well, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. And thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Our number is 310-326-6343. Or you can visit us on our website at coastalfuneralcenter.com. Thank you.